stabilizer is another very important part of embroidery. It serves a few different purposes. It provides support so that your stitches aren't puckering or pulling. It provides stability so that your fabric is held in place as you're stitching and the design can be precise. It gives you a way to firmly attach the fabric or the project to the hoop, and it can also serve as a foundation for freestanding designs like lace or crochet. So there's lots of different types of stabilizers out there, and the one that you pick will depend on a few different things, but mostly fabric and the technique that you're doing. So we're going to talk about 4 main categories of stabilizer. Cutaway stabilizer is the first category we're going to talk about. So cutaway stabilizer, once the embroidery is finished, the excess stabilizer is cut away around the design and the rest of it stays in there. So it offers lasting support, so it stays in there even after you're done embroidering. So I have 2 types of cutaway stabilizer here. I have the Inspira Whisper Web Mesh and the Cutaway Light. So these are both examples of a cutaway stabilizer. And here is what the stabilizer looks like unrolled. So cutaway stabilizer is a good option for fabrics that might be stretchy, so it prevents the stitches from stretching out or distorting after embroidery. It's also a good option for embroideries that are going to be against the skin because it's softer and is a little bit nicer to wear against the skin. And it's also good for dense embroideries, so something that needs a lot of support, like a dense embroidery with lots of heavy stitches or stitches that are close together. So generally you want to use the cutaway on something that's not reversible, so you're not really going to see the back, and a heavy to medium weight woven or fabrics that need extra stability like stretchy knits. Tearaway stabilizers are paper-like stabilizers, and just like the name implies, after you're done embroidering, the embroidery stitches perforate the stabilizer and you can tear it away just like paper. I have 2 examples here. I have Inspira brand Tearaway and Tearaway Light, so just 2 different weights of Tearaway stabilizer. And here's what this one looks like unrolled. So it really is very paper-like. You can hear it's kind of crinkly, and you can also tear it just like paper. So tearaway stabilizers are good for things that don't get a lot of agitation or won't be strained or stretched a lot. Since it does tear, you don't want to use it on a knit fabric because as the knit fabric stretches, the stabilizer will tear and then won't be there anymore to offer support. So tearaway stabilizers, once you tear them away, whatever's left in the design will disappear the first time you wash it. So you generally want to use it on less dense embroidery and embroidery that maybe is more decorative or won't be washed or worn a lot. Water-soluble stabilizers are stabilizers that disappear completely in water, and they're pretty fun. So I have 2 different examples of water-soluble stabilizers. I have the Inspira brand Aqua Magic and the Dissolve Away. So both of these stabilizers disappear completely when they are submerged in water. The Aqua Magic is a fabric-like material. You can use it as a foundation for freestanding designs like lace and crochet. And if you're doing something very dense, you can double it up so it's extra strong, and it will disappear completely in water when you're finished. The Dissolve Away is more like a plastic. So this is a clear plasticky material, and this one's generally just used as a topper, so a top layer stabilizer. If you're embroidering something that is stretchy or has a lot of pile or nap to it or is thick, then you can put this on top to give yourself a nice smooth surface so the foot doesn't get caught up in the fabric, and it also prevents the stitches from sinking down into the design or into the fabric. But you really don't want to use this as a standalone stabilizer because it is like plastic. It can get perforated and start to tear as you're embroidering, so it's really just used as a topper. And I have an example here of what that would look like. So if I was embroidering this polar fleece, I have hooped up some cutaway interfacing because it's a stretchy fabric, so I want to make sure I'm making it stable. And then on top I've put a piece of the Dissolve Away so that the surface is nice and smooth and the stitches don't sink down into the plushy fleece. And then when I was done embroidering, I would cut off the cutaway interfacing and then tear off the dissolve away and finish it off with water if there's any left behind, and my embroidery would look great. So I have an example here of using Aqua Magic. Here's a freestanding design. This is from collection 431, Creative Crochet, and I've embroidered a cotton thread crochet design, and I've put it through a double layer of Aqua Magic. So now that it's done, I'm going to take it out of the hoop and then cut off the excess because I don't really need it. And I have a bowl of water here. So we're going to bring over our bowl of water and dunk our design and stabilizer in. So we're just going to work it around and make sure the water gets in all of the stabilizer. And when it's done, it is totally vanished. Hacky stabilizers are stabilizers that have a lightweight adhesive on one side. So these can be useful if you're embroidering something that's too small to fit into a hoop, for example, this pocket. Or if you're embroidering fabric that scars easily, like velvet or vinyl. So if you were to put it in a hoop, the hoop might leave lasting indentations or marks on the fabric. You can use the Hacky Stabilizer, put that in the hoop, and then just stick the fabric down on top of it, and it's held nice and stable as you're embroidering. So here's an example of a Hacky Stabilizer. This is Light and Tacky by Inspira. So you can see that one side of it has paper and it peels away to reveal the tacky surface. So you would take this, peel the paper away, put it in a hoop, and then stick your fabric down on top of it, and you're good to go. So now you know all about the main categories of embroidery stabilizers. Make sure you watch the next video in the Embroidery 101 series where we discuss embroidery hoops.